Can you end this talking? What should I do talking? Okay, don't worry. Sure, okay, but sure, okay.
Take care.
여러분, 안녕하세요. 안녕하십니까. Good day, everyone. You are welcome to NSA KNU 2026 orientation webinar on Global Korea Scholarship Graduate Degree. My name is Anofi Abdulkadri. I'm a civil servant by profession, and I'm currently in the language program at KNU, South Korea. I'm also part of the awardees, GKS awardees from Nigeria last year. And I welcome you all to this live session webinar. Without wasting much time, I've displayed on my screen the sequence of the flow of the program. We are going to start by the introduction to the webinar, which have begun already. And secondly, we move to the welcome address and opening remarks by the NSA president. Thirdly, we move to the introduction of the first speaker. And the first speaker we have his presentation. Then following that, we move to the introduction of the second speaker. And the second speaker will also have his own presentation. So after that, we move to the introduction of the third speaker, and also she will have a presentation of here. Then following that, we move to the next session, which is going to be the tips to become a successful GKS candidate. This is going to be addressed by all the speakers, invited speakers. And after that, we move to the question and answer session. Then following that is going to be the special announcements and a token quiz. Then we have the closing remarks. So I seek the indulgence of the audience to proceed with the program. So as outlined, I'm going to call on our amiable president, Kim Pook National University, South Korea, the Nigerian students, in person of Engineer Salah Rahman, to give his welcome address and opening remarks.
I could not join again.
He's there with us. He's having technical challenge, which is system. He's going to join us soon.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you so much for joining our program. Once again, good evening, distinguished guests, respected speakers. the esteemed number and dear participants. My name is Salam Ido, the president of Nigeria Students Association at Kyampu National University. On behalf of the Executive Council of our noble association, I'm honored to warmly welcome you all to this Government of Korea Scholarship Seminar. We are delighted to host you this evening, and we sincerely appreciate your presence and participation. NSAKNU is a student-led association committed to promoting academic excellence, excellency, unity, and the welfare of Nigeria students at Kyampu National University. One of our core achievements is to provide timely information, mentorship, and platforms that empower students and prospective applicants to make informed academic and career decisions. Today's seminar reflects that commitment. The Government of Korea Scholarship Program remains one of the most prestigious and competitive scholarship opportunities globally. Beyond financial support, it presents a gateway to world-class education, cultural exchange, and long-term professional development. However, the application process can be demanding and often unclear to many applicants. This seminar has therefore been carefully organized to provide practical guidance, clarify common concerns, and share valuable insights across the various stages of the GKS application process. We are privileged to have experienced speakers who will walk us through the process and share lessons drawn from both success and experience. I encourage all participants to listen attentively, take advantage of this opportunity, and actively engage during the interactive session. Once again, I thank you all for joining us, and I wish everyone a productive, insightful, and successful seminar. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. That was an insightful speech from the amiable president of NSAKNU, South Korea. Without further ado, I'm going to the next item on the agenda, which is the citation of the first speaker of the day. The first speaker of the day is Mr. Paul Goswe SMA. He's a native of Edo State, Nigeria. He's a graduate of Geography and Planning from the University of Jos, Plateau State. He graduated in 2004, and in 2005, he applied for the GKS scholarship. And fortunately, he was among the successful candidates via the university track. Also, yes. Mr. Paul was offered MSc study admission into the Department of Atmospheric Sciences at Kyampu National University. And in addition to what has been said, Mr. Paul is also a professional graphics designer. Please permit me to invite to the e-podium Mr. Paul SMA to have his presentation. And I want to implore all participants, especially the prospective GKS applicants, to get their pen ready, their pen and paper, as Mr. Paul shares his experience and valuable insights for GKS application. So, Mr. Paul, you're highly welcome. You can have your presentation, please.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Paul Godswill, as mentioned earlier. I don't know if you can hear me, please.
You're hearing you, sir. Proceed.
Yes, we can hear you. Okay. All right, so my name is Paul Godswill. Though the speaker made some mistake, I graduated in 2024, not 2004. Yeah, and I got awarded the Global Korea Scholarship in 2025. I've just been in Korea for a short time for now. I'll be speaking on two major aspects of the Global Korea Scholarship. So first of all, I'll be speaking on the benefits of the Global Korea Scholarship. Then secondly, I will speak on preparation of the documents you need to apply for the Global Korea Scholarship. So First, firstly, the benefits. I'll start and I'll read the benefits according to the way it's written on the NIED orientation book. So NIED is like the organization that controls everything that has to do with the Global Korea Scholarship over here in Korea. So I'll read and then I explain. The first point here is airfare tickets. So entry tickets and return tickets, uh, economic flights, particularly. The flights will be limited to the routes between the airports in Korea and the recipient country of origin. Then, secondly, the tuition fee. Tuition is fully funded. The admission fee at universities are waived. The tuition fees are fully funded by the Korean government and the universities. So, student association fees and alumni association fees are not covered by the scholarship program and must be covered by the scholars. Um, Thirdly, the Korean language training fully funded for 1 year. So the Global Korea Scholarship, it's programmed in a particular way that you usually need to go through the Korean language program, like the language school, to learn the language first before you commence your degree fully. So the Global Korea Scholarship, though this orientation is prepared for those who will be applying for the graduate program, but it's the process to for those applying through the undergraduate program is similar. So I feel it will be helpful uh, for those who are not maybe for graduates but might want to uh, go for undergraduates. Though the current application is for the postgraduate, which is a graduate program, but then for the undergraduates, usually between September and October. So for the benefits, the first point I mentioned the FA tickets. The scholarship covers your flight tickets, so including your visa. You don't need to go through uh, paying the visa fee and going through the process of interview. So you just need to apply once you've been selected for the scholarship. You get to apply without going through the normal process every other person might go through trying to get a visa to Korea. So your flight gets covered by your school, uh, and also the flight tickets is usually why coming and why going back. So it's not like you get to bother about coming back yourself, even though while you're here in Korea, if you choose to go back to your country, you have the privilege to do so after going through some certain processes. But then it covers your coming and your going back. So that is that for the flight tickets. I think questions will be taken after the whole session. So I'll just move on quickly. Then secondly, the tuition. The tuition is fully covered by the scholarship. You don't need to bother about paying your school fees or paying uh, for books, though you pay for books from your stipend, like the money you get. So you usually don't need to bother about paying the school fees and all that. And the third point, as mentioned, is the Korean language training fee. Uh, for every scholar, aside certain set of persons, you usually need to go through the language program. Like when you come to Korea, you get to study Korean for about 1 full year, even if it's not really like 1 full year, but more like 4 semesters based on the college, the language college. So you need to usually go through language program where you get to learn Korean from the scratch. And towards the end of your program, there's a particular deadline actually. You need to take the Korean national language exam, just like high IELTS people take for English certificates. So you need to take the Korean language exam known as TOPIK. So the TOPIK is just like the English proficiency certificate exam people take for English language. But then while you are here in Korea, you need to take the Korean language exam because without that certificate, you get to lose the scholarship if you can't get the particular level of score that is expected from you by your department. Because usually each department usually have different level of score they expect you to get at the end of your Korean language program. So without that, you get kicked back to your country. So it's it's something one needs to really be prepared for. Then I skip the point, which is like the most important point of these whole things. Usually there's monthly allowance known as stipend for the undergraduates. During your Korean language program, you get a monthly allowance of 1,070,000 Korean won. So each month you get 1,070,000 Korean won. So for those who might not know the conversion rates of the currency, currently, just assume currently that, okay, 1 naira is equal to 1 Korean won. So as a scholar, undergraduate scholar, you get 1,070,000 Korean won each month. So more like 1,070,000 naira. So why during your degree program for undergraduates, you get 1,140,000 Korean won, more like 1,140,000 naira each month. So then for the graduates, during the Korean language program, you get 1,180,000 Korean won. Remember, I said 1 naira equal to 1 Korean won, just for better understanding. So during the degree, you get 1,310,000 Korean won. Yeah. So then for research candidates or for research scholars, you get 1,650,000 Korean won, because for the research scholars usually just get to spend 6 months or maybe 1 year. So but then it's a bit different from those applying for undergraduate or graduate programs. So because for the research scholars, they don't usually need to go through the language program. So it's usually for a short time, just 6 months or 1 full year. So the monthly allowance covers your living expenses, your textbooks, insurance, and your topic exam fees, and also your thesis printing and every other thing you need to do as a student. So you really don't need to bother about money to get any stuff you need while studying, because as a scholar you're also restricted to homework, because they feel it to be a form of distraction, even if there's a room to do that after you meet certain criteria and all that. So but then you really don't need to. In fact, you won't even have the time to really work because you get so busy with the language program and then your degree. So uh, quickly, I'll move to the document legalization process. And for this aspect, it's usually, uh, will I say, for many persons, it's the part where some persons just give up in applying, because when they get to hear about the process and how, I won't really say difficult, how stressful it could be, they easily just give up and feel like, okay, I don't think I can apply for this. But the process, the moments when you give up, it means that you're not ready to uh, push for something as important as this. Because trust me, for many other scholarship programs you want to apply, the processes are the same. Because while when I speak to some persons, when I try to explain to them, they'll be like, ah, this process is too long. I don't think I will go ahead with this. I won't apply it and all that because it's stressful. I'll try another one. And then when at the end of the day, when they keep checking, you realize that the process is not really far from other countries, because it's just because uh, the way our country is Nigeria. So I'm speaking, what I'll be saying will basically be directed more to. I know there are people from other countries here, though, but then I'll be speaking based on my knowledge as a Nigerian. So for many persons, they just give up because they feel the process for legalization is difficult and stressful. Yes, I understand it's difficult and stressful, but then I think it's, if you are really determined to do it, if you push yourself to go through it, you end up seeing that it's not really as stressful as you might think, because you, without doing that, without going through the documents, preparing your documents, it's definitely impossible for you to apply for the scholarship. So the scholarship is done based on certain criteria. So it's not like you can skip a particular process and then expect to get same results as others who go through the right process. So uh, since I was speaking particularly for those applying for the graduate program, I will mention the necessary documents each person needs for application. So firstly, the first document you need is your degree certificate. Now for those who apply who finish from, let's say, a polytechnic, you also can apply for the scholarship. So even though there are some certain things you need to do, because I got to speak to some persons over here in Korea that had come through this this process as an HND holder. And usually, because most times you get many persons saying, okay, HND holders cannot apply for the scholarship or cannot apply for some scholarship. But then for this particular scholarship, I know some persons personally that's applied through their HND. So the first document is your degree or uh, your HND, like your just know, okay, your certificates, for example, and then secondly, your official transcript. So I know and I understand it might be difficult for most persons to get their transcripts because of how important now uh, that document called transcript itself, how important it is to both the school and then the candidate. So most times schools usually don't want to give you the official transcript, but then they give an opportunity of, if you ask them and if you press, they usually would want to send it uh, to their particular school you want to apply. But then take note that for this scholarship, everything you apply with must come through you first. So it's not like you can tell your school to send your transcript to Korea. No. So, but then what you can tell your school to do is to get to send your transcript to the Ministry of Education in Abuja, Nigeria. Yeah, because every process of the legalization starts from the Ministry of Education. But then there are certain things you need to do, like uh, from your school first before you go to the Ministry of Education. So, sorry, I'll be quick because the process is a bit long. The first document I said is your degree certificate. Then you need your official transcript. Then you will need your birth certificates. You need a birth certificate. So if you don't have that, you actually need that for this scholarship. Then the fourth set of documents you need is your parents. You need a document that shows the identification that identifies your parents as Nigerians. So because if your parents are not Nigerians, you cannot be considered as a Nigerian candidate. So you need to show that your parents are Nigerians. So showing for your parents, you don't necessarily need a birth certificate for them. So you could use NIN and maybe international passports if they have one. So you could use NIN for your parents or international passport, but for yourself particularly, you need a birth certificate. You cannot apply without a birth certificate. Uh, the fifth document, which is not really mandatory but optional, it's the language proficiency certificate. Because usually, if you have IELTS certificate, which is for English, or you have TOPIK, because TOPIK is also written in Nigeria, there at the Korean Cultural Center. So if you have TOPIK or you have uh, IELTS or TOEFL, you can also get to use those certificates. Though according to the process of the scholarship, it's not mandatory to present language proficiency certificate. But then when you have it, it gives you a little more edge above others who don't. So, but then it's not like every decision is based on language proficiency. For me, particularly, I didn't apply with any language certificates, official language certificate like TOPIK or IELTS. So, but then what I did was for me uh, to get a document from my school that shows that okay, I learned in English and I did my degree in English language. So for most schools, it's called medium of instruction certificate. So you basically can just go to your school registrar and tell them you need a document that shows that you were taught in English language. So English language proficiency certificate is not necessary for us as Nigerians. It's not mandatory for most scholarship, not just the GKS. So that document is just an extra document you might need if you want to have more edge above other candidates. But it doesn't mean that when you have it, you get automatically selected, or it doesn't mean that when once you have it, or once you don't have it, you can't apply. No, just like I said, for me, I didn't apply with any official certificate, but I just got document from my school that uh, that showed that I learned in English language. So basically, the process of the legalization, firstly, you need to start from Ministry of Education with your documents. You need your degree certificates at the Ministry of Education, your transcripts, and then your WAEC or NECO. You need to add your WAEC and NECO, whether you are going for undergraduates or graduates, because without the WAEC or NECO, your other documents will not be legal, authenticated. So usually you need to go to the Ministry of Education with this set of documents, your degree, your transcripts, then your WAEC and NECO. And before going to the Ministry of Education, usually you need your university or your polytechnic to send an email from the registrar's office to the Ministry of Education, telling them that okay, so person is uh, a graduate of this school, or he has this particular degree, and they are just more like attesting, telling of making a form of verification that you were their students. So without that process, because once you get to the Ministry of Education, they need to check their system. There's a book actually where they get to transfer details of those whose school has sent that verification mail. Because without that, your documents will not be authenticated at the Ministry of Education. So basically, you need your school to send that mail to them, particularly. Without that, don't even try to stress yourself, because you won't be giving attention to administration of education. So you need your school to send a mail to them telling them, okay, I was a student. And once you get there, you submit your document after booking online. You pay 1,000 naira per document. So if your transcript has like 4 pages, you pay 1,000 naira per pages. So at the Ministry of Education, you pay 1,000 naira per document. And just after the Ministry of Education part, the next stage of this process is going to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And remember, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but then you can only do this process in the Ministry of Education headquarters in Abuja and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs headquarters in Abuja also. So, but then these two ministries are just opposite each other. So once you are done with from the Ministry of Education, you then proceed to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and you go along with those documents that have been authenticated. But at this point, you don't need to give them your WAEC. If you're not going for undergraduate, you don't need to even take your WAEC there at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and you pay, I think you pay 300 naira per document and also per page, and then you pay for the original set and then the duplicate set. So after that, you take same set of documents and you go to an high court. Now at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that is where you get to add your birth certificate to the documents you submit. Because at the Ministry of Education, they don't get to do anything with your birth certificate, so you just submit your educational documents there. So, but then at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you submit your educational documents that have been authenticated at the Ministry of Education, and then you add your birth certificate. So if your parent doesn't have NIN or international passport,
Sorry,
you
Mr.
add.
Paul. Sorry,
Yeah.
you have like 3 minutes to go.
All right, thank you. So if your parent doesn't have international passport or NIN, it means you must add your parents' birth certificates. And if your parents is dead, any of them is dead, because you need to show for each of them. Not like you're using one document for both of them, but if any of the parents is dead, you can use their death certificate. Yes, and if they are divorced, then you need to present a divorce certificate. So there are different options if you don't have NIN for your parents or international passport. Then after the section of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you then proceed to uh, high courts in there. I think there are about two high courts in Abuja. So you can make use of any of the high courts, and then after, because what you get to do at the high courts is for them to stamp on those duplicates you'll be using for the scholarship application. They need to make put a CTC stamp, that is certified true copy stamp, on each of those duplicate copy to show that okay, these documents are photocopies of an original document. So without that stamp, the next stage, which is the Korean embassy, where you get to do the final legalization, won't be done. They won't accept to do it. So, and also, one thing I would want you to also put in mind is the fee I mentioned might have changed, because I'm speaking based on the current fee I knew then, as at last year when I applied. So at the Ministry of Education, the fee might not be 1,000 naira per document anymore. So you might need to prepare more than that. And also, Ministry of Foreign Affairs was usually 300 naira per document, so the fee might have changed. So don't take all I say like in aspect of the costs to art like that. So, and also the final stage is the the embassy. So Nigeria has two Korean embassy, one in Lagos and one in Abuja. So at that point, you can get to complete your process in Lagos or the one in Abuja. And at the embassy, you get to pay 6,000 naira per document. So at the embassy, you don't get to pay per pages. So if your transcript has like 4 pages, you just have to pay 6,000 naira for that transcript. Yeah. So basically, the process is from Ministry of Education to Ministry of Foreign Affairs to the High Court and finally to the embassy. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, that was a wonderful presentation. Yes, yeah. That was a wonderful presentation by Mr. Goswell, not Goswell Apabio. We thank you so much for the great insight, walking us from the benefits of GKS scholarship to the detailed application procedure, especially to get your documents legalized. Although there are some few parts that needs to be emphasized, but maybe in the course of the program, we're going to touch those areas. And I want to appeal to the audience, especially prospective applicants, to maybe delay their questions, because obviously most of the questions we are receiving, there are things that they are going to be talked about if you are patient enough, so that you can minimize the traffic. So without wasting much time again, we are going to move to the next segment, which is the second speaker for the day. The next speaker is Scholar Teresa Eleojo Shaibu. She was born in Nigeria, Lagos State, Nigeria, and she obtained BSc in English and Literary Studies from Federal University, Lokoja in 2019. Before coming to Korea, she was an education consultant, and she got GKS award in 2025, that's last year, for his master education in media and communications at Yongnam University, South Korea. So permit me to call on our next speaker, one of the African queens in Korea. So Mrs. Teresa, or Miss Teresa, sorry, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Hanaki. Good evening, everyone. Okay, it's evening over here, it's afternoon over there. Good afternoon, everyone. So I have 3 minutes, and I'm just going to speak fast about it. Now I'm going to go into details.
No, sorry, you have 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Not 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. So can I share my screen for the form?
Yes.
I'm asking. Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Let me share my screen because I want to show the form. Okay. Okay, so the embassy track is quite different from the university track, and this year there have been a lot of changes. Now, previously for embassy track, you just have to fill the form, then take your documents to the Korean Cultural Center in Abuja and submit your documents in. But for this year, they've changed it. So there are 2 ways to the embassy track now. You first of all do the online application, and then you take your documents to the Korean Cultural Center in Nigeria. Now, the difference between the embassy track and university track is that the embassy track gives you the opportunity to apply to 3 different schools. Now, I want to emphasize that when you're choosing schools for the embassy track, don't just choose schools to fill in the gap, because you have 3 choices. Make sure you're intentional about your school, because you may be thinking that, oh, your first choice is second choice. Yes?
Please, you can maximize your screen so that you can see where.
Oh, okay, sorry. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay. I've not even started talking about the form. Okay, so I was saying that when you're choosing your universities, please be intentional about choosing your universities. You may be hoping that your first choice or your second choice will pick you, but eventually it may be your last choice, which may be your like the least one that you didn't even put your hope in. That was what happened to me. I was actually intentional about my whole school. My first and second choice did not choose me, but my last choice chose me. So imagine if I didn't put much attention to my last choice, I would have been regretting my choice. So for the embassy track, you see all these documents. They see master's, doctoral, research. You see the ones that are required, relevant, optional. All these lines here means that they are not for you. Then the ones that are optional are the ones that if you have them, you can provide them. If you don't have them, you can provide them. Now the documents that are relevant or required, you must provide them. Now you need one letter of recommendation. The letter of recommendation has to come from either your professor, your lecturer, your HOD. It has to come from an academic source. No work employment, no work employer letter of recommendation, no work employer letter of recommendation. It has to come from an academic source when you're applying. Now, last year they didn't give us limits to number of words when we were writing our personal statements, goal of study, and all of that. But this year they did. So when you look at the form, you see that it's divided: embassy and university track. Now I want to emphasize that mistakes are not allowed when filling the form. You don't want to say, oh, I wanted to choose general, but I mistakenly chose RGKS. In the guidelines, it is written, if you don't tick the correct option, your application will automatically be discarded because they don't want to go through that stress. So when you're going for embassy track, you need to tick here and you need to tick general. Because obviously, except maybe you're an overseas Korean, maybe you're half caste, except that. But if you're going for the embassy track, you need to be conscious of what you're doing. You tick the embassy track and you tick the general. Then you need to tick which degree that you're going for: master's, doctoral, research, whichever one it is that you're going for. Then when you go to the list of schools that the files that they give to the list of schools in the GKS file, you need to look at what departments, division of study that the course that they're going for falls into. Is it humanities? Is it social science? Is it natural science? Those division, that is what you're going to choose here. You don't want, maybe your course is under humanities and you're choosing social science. Don't guess and say, oh, I think this course, I think I'm going for media and communications, I think it should be social science. Don't guess. Probably maybe it's in South Korea, it is considered under education, you don't know. So you want to be sure that, okay, yes, I'm choosing the correct division of study, I'm choosing the correct field of study. Now, first, there are people that maybe want to go for like different courses. If you're going for different courses, if one of the courses in humanities, another one is in social science, pick the two. Choose the two. You choose humanities, you choose social science, because you are choosing two different courses from different universities that falls under this different field of studying. Then these are just your details. You fill these ones. I don't need to go over these ones. Okay, this is the schools now. Now the embassy track, it is a must. You must choose type A and type B. You cannot choose all type A schools. If you choose all type A schools, disqualification. So you must choose type A and type B, and you must put it in the correct box. You can see here is written type B, here is written type A or type B. If you put a type A school here, cancelled. So here, choice number 1 must be a type B school. Choice 2 can either be type A or type B. Choice 3 can be either be type A or type B. So here, field of study, like I've said before, then the department, all of this is written clearly in the school forms, that's in the school listed under the documents that they sent. All of this is clearly listed. You see the name of the school, you will see the departments, you will see the location of the school, you see the field of division, you see everything about the school. So you want to look at the particular course that you're going for, the field of study and the department, and choose that appropriately and fill in the box. Okay, then fill all that. Let's go to okay, so this for here, if your school doesn't give like after each semester or after each level, they don't give like CGP or whatever, it's fine. You can just fill only this. You can just fill like the total, like your last CGPA that you got. You can just fill that here. There is a conversion table. There's a conversion table in the guidelines that needs sent. So you can use that conversion table to convert it. So if you have like, okay, this says 3.9. So you see, I think for Nigeria, most of the schools is over 5.0. So you want to look at that. The guidelines is there. So I implore you to please read the guidelines. Please read the guidelines. No, see, there's no better information you can get than reading it by yourself. Read the guidelines. Okay, let's move to. So after each form, the date, your full name, and signature. If one form there is no signature on it, cancelled. Now this is the personal statement. Now there you have 17,000 characters. Please, whatever it is you are writing, don't exceed 17,000 characters, because these people are very, very strict. Remember, you're competing with a number of people out there, and you don't want the little mistake to disqualify you or take you out. Now, because the first application is the online application, and you know that will count words. It's not like the previous year that we just print out. This one, that one, they can't count the words. Now it's online, they can count the words, they can see the number of characters that you've used. Whatever it is that you're writing, please don't let it pass 17,000 characters. I'm begging you, just keep it at the maximum 17,000 characters on the dot. Now, what is required of you to write your personal statements, educational background, all of these. Now, I want to emphasize that whatever it is that you're putting in your personal statement, if you said, oh, I volunteered as this, I worked as this, I took so and so course, make sure you have a certificate to prove that. Trust me, certificate goes a long way. If you've worked as a volunteer for an NGO, beg them to give you a certificate. If you've taken short courses online and it adds to your personal statement or it adds to your experience, add it to your application. It will boost it. They want to see that, oh, you're not just sitting around, you're not just lying around, you are busy, you're doing something, you're contributing to yourself, you're growing yourself personally. So they want to see all of that. So whatever it is that you're going to write in your personal statement, it should be able to reflect itself in the form of a document or a certificate or something. They should be able to see it added to the document. So now let's go. I can stop sharing my screen now. I just wanted to go briefly into that. Now, the process of the embassy track is, for me, I think it's quite direct. You fill your form neatly. After you fill your form, now you print out your form, right? After you print out your form, the first page that has the list of the required documents, you look at it now, you have to number your documents. Yes, you have to number your documents. Okay, I'm sorry, I think I need to go back to share that screen. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Sorry. Okay. So if the second form is personal statements, if you're printing out your personal statements and your personal statement is 4 pages, 5 pages, 10 pages, at the top right corner, you're going to write Form 2, personal statement. If you print out the GKS applicants agreement, at the top right corner, you're going to write Form 8, GKS applicant agreement. You have to number it, and when you're arranging, you're going to arrange it accordingly. You're not going to put number 2 on top of number 1. You're going to number 1, number 2. So if your number 2 is 10, you put them together. If your number 3 is 5, you put them together. They have to follow each other like that. So whatever it is, if you have like the place that says applicant passports, you're going to number it as 22 applicant passports. Awards and certificates. If you have 100 certificates, 21 awards and other certificates. That is how you're going to label it and put it. Now, the first step of the application is you fill the online application, which opens on the 12th of February. It opens on the 12th of February and it closes on the 25th of February. You fill that application. Now, for this first part, you don't need to authenticate your documents because it's online. You don't need to, so you should not be panicking. So you still have enough time for you to be able to authenticate your documents. So this first part of the application that is online, you don't need to authenticate your documents. You can just submit your documents, but still go ahead to authenticate your documents because you're still going to submit it to the Korean Cultural Center in Abuja. That's where you're going to submit the physical documents. So after you've submitted that, now they're going to go through everybody's application, and then they'll release a list of people that list of people that made the shortlist. Then they will invite you for interview. Now the interview is mostly consists of 4 people, 2 Koreans and 2 Nigerians. I think mine was 2 male Koreans, 1 female Nigerian, and 1 male Nigerian. Honestly, the questions came majorly from the Nigerians. Questions came majorly from Nigerians. Now, I advise everyone to write your personal statement yourself. If someone is writing the personal statement for you or probably guiding you, please be involved in the process, because whatever questions they're going to be asking you, they're going to be asking you from your personal statements. They can take it from anywhere. They can just take it from anywhere. Oh, you wrote here that you did this and did that. How do you think this is going to be important to this thing? And if you're not the one that wrote your personal statement or you didn't go through it, you're going to be lost. You know the way Nigerians tackle each other with questions, because most of the questions were from Nigerians. Now, the questions that they asked me to introduce myself. They asked me, why am I going for that course? What benefit is it going to be to Nigeria? Then they asked me, I've never traveled outside the country. How do I think I'm going to adapt? They asked me, why do I think I should be chosen for the scholarship? So those are the questions that technical questions that are going to be asking you, and you just don't want to give surface questions, or you just don't want to. They say, "Oh, why don't you want to study in Nigeria? Why are you going outside the country?" Please don't start saying, "Nigeria, the country is bad. The security is bad." Please don't say that. Don't say that though. If for anything safe, raise Nigeria up. You don't want to do that, because now you don't want to devalue your country in the presence of foreigners there, just because you want to get the scholarship to go outside the country. Talk about the benefits that you're going to bring to the country and the benefit it is to you. Now, the interview is actually very smooth and it's very fast. For embassy track, it's very, very fast. They don't waste time. No late coming. If you come late, that's it. They're never going to let you in. Once it starts, like, they are done. They keep to time game. After the interview is over, then you wait for like, I think 2-3 days. Then they send a mail to the people that qualified for the scholarship. If they're supposed to pick 6 people, they will pick 6, and then they will have 1 reserve. The reserve is just in case maybe 1 person from the 6 main people they pick, maybe something happened, the person says no longer going, or something, anything can happen, then the reserve will be able to fill in that particular space. But the probability of that happening is very, 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 very low. Very, very low. But I'm just telling you how it happens. They pick the main people and then they pick 1 reserve. Then after that, then they send the interview happens at Korean Cultural Center, Abuja. That is where it happens. So wherever it is you are, you will fly, you will come to Abuja for the interview. Then after that, then they send your documents to NEED. Then you wait for NEED to go through your documents, and then NEED will send out a list of those that qualify for the second round of application. Now, after the second round of application, NEED now sends your documents to all the schools that you apply to. Now, have it in mind that you're choosing 3 schools and you're going to be making 4 copies of the documents. Now, the 4 copies is 1 is for NEED, 1 each for the 3 schools that you're picking. So there's going to be 1 original copy and 3 photocopies. The 3 photocopies are for the schools. So you're going to be printing out the original copy, and then you're going to be making photocopies. So all your documents are going to be 4 each. So everything that is going to go to NEED, everything is going to go to like the 3 different. So you're making all the documents, everything that you need, into 4 different places, and packaging it into 4.
Sorry, Mrs. Teresa, you have 4 minutes to go.
Into 4 different envelopes, and then you put everything together in 1 big envelope, and then you send it to KCCN. Then after NEED sends your documents to the 3 universities, then the universities will maybe reach out for interview, or they may say, like during my own time, they didn't interview any of us. No, there is no time for interview. Those who made it, they just picked them. Those who didn't make it, but there are other schools that they did interview for them. The other schools that they didn't interview for them. As far as it's embassy track, it must be 4. As far as it's embassy track, it's 4, because you're applying to 3 schools. You know, it's university track that is 1. If it's embassy track, it's 4, my dear. I'm sorry, it's 4. So when the schools pick you, then that is the final round. After the school speak, you then need to now release the official final list for all the students that are going. I think that concludes my presentation. Thank you, everyone. I'll be expecting your questions.
Well, thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. It was very detailed, and there are a few things to take away from your presentation. Firstly, you mentioned that you are even begging and appealing to prospective applicants that they should please make sure that they were involved in the application process in terms of the document preparation when it comes to the what's it called, study plan and personal statements. That's very, very important. And also, one thing that you can take away from the Koreans is that they are very detailed. And if you go through the application documents, that GKS guide, you see that they are begging, please, please, almost in every page or every sentence, they're writing please. So they will not tolerate please from you. They just throw away if there is any mistake, they don't condone mistakes. Thank you so much for that insightful presentation. And we are going to go straight to our next presenter. Our next presenter is Scholar Rose. Scholar Rose, her full name is Adoyi Rose Ene. She's a native of Benue State, Nigeria. She had an undergraduate study in crop production at the University of Agriculture, Makurdi, Benue State. She graduated in 2023. And before he left Nigeria, she was a teacher and social media manager. He bagged the MSc GKS Award in 2025 to study horticulture at Cheongdam National University, South Korea. So, Mrs. Rose, are you ready? Or Miss Rose, are you ready for us? That's another African queen in Korea. Miss Rose.
Yes.
You have the floor. Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Rose Adoyi, as our presenter has earlier said, and I am a JKS scholar at Cheongdam National University. I'm sorry. Okay, I am a JKS scholar at Cheongdam National University. I won the scholarship last year, 2025, and my major is horticulture. I applied via the university track, so I'll be talking about the university track in today's meeting. Thankfully, our previous presenter who applied through the embassy track has already helped us to dissect the application form. So it's basically the same thing for both embassy and university track. When it comes to application form, it's the same thing. You just need to pick what applies to you, embassy track or university track. So I'm not going to talk more about the application form. I'm just going to dive right into what you need to know specifically to apply to university track. So the main difference between the university track and the embassy track is that while you can pick 3 universities for the embassy track, you can only pick 1 university for the university track. And that alone sounds very scary because you're putting all your eggs in one basket, and that tends to push people away from the university track. But I personally feel like if you play your cards well, the university track is a very, very good track. So this is me encouraging you guys to apply via the university track. And apart from choosing just one university, another major difference between the embassy track and the university track is that you have to deal with the university directly, right? You send your documents to them directly, they handle your interviews, all your communications is with the university you are applying to, and the only time you have to come in contact with the embassy during your application period is when you want to apply for your visa. That's other than preparing your documents when you legalize and stuff. So for the university track, you apply to one university, like I said earlier, you pick just one school, you send one set of documents, which is the usual requirement. However, some schools require more than one set of documents. So I would advise that as soon as your school releases their guidelines, because when NID releases the application guidelines late January, embassies start taking application early February. I think it's just this year that they are doing it in the middle of February, which is like 12th of February. It's usually from 2nd, 3rd, 4th in the past years, right? That period, embassy track is not happening yet. Sorry, university track is not happening yet. Each university will release their own application timeline. So if you intend to apply to the university track, you should be hanging around your school's website immediately it's February to know when their own application opens for the university track. Most times it opens in the middle of February, like 12th, 13th, 14th. I think last year my school opened for university track application on the 15th of February. I think 15th or 14th of February. So somewhere around Valentine's Day. I remember very well. So yeah, every school will release an announcement, their own individual announcement for university track. You understand? And that is when your own application process starts. So immediately they drop their guideline, please go through it. Some schools require 2 sets of documents, unlike the regular 1 set that is known for university track. And some schools also require 3 sets of documents. Some schools will say, don't use paper clip, because if you have been in the JKS space for a while, you will know that we are not supposed to use staple pin. It is written in the guidelines. We're not supposed to use staple pin, right? So what we fall back to is paper clip. It's even written in the guidelines that you should use paper clip instead of staple pin. But there are some universities that do not want even paper clip. So you have to fall to using binder clips. So make sure you read, just reading your university's guideline as a university track applicant is as important as reading the application guidelines itself. If you rely on just the application guidelines and you're applying for university track, there's a very, very big chance you will make mistakes, because schools add additional requirements because you are dealing with them directly. So you have to bend to your rules. As a matter of fact, their own application guidelines is more important than NID's own. Why? Because their own guidelines contains everything that NID wants, but NID's guideline does not contain everything that they want. You understand? So what NID wants and their own extra requirements will be in your university's application guidelines. So make sure you go through it and adhere to all the instructions. If your school said you should photocopy at the front and the back, please photocopy at the front and the back. If your school said do not photocopy at the front and at the back, please do not photocopy at the front and at the back. Okay, so make sure you go through the university's guidelines and adhere to their instruction. The next thing I would like to talk about are the pathways under the university track. When you talk about university track, the most common pathways are general and RGKS, right? And under general, you can apply to either type A universities or type B universities. You can pick any of them, you get. But under regional, you can only pick type B universities, the regional universities. And type B universities are universities outside Seoul, right? So you can only pick type B universities if you are applying through the general JKS. The regional JKS, that's our JKS, under the university track, right? But apart from the general and the RJKS, we also have other pathways under the university track, which in my opinion are not, they're not very explored like that. A lot of applicants just overlook them. I don't know whether it's because the title seems intimidating or what. For example, R&D. I talked about this R&D yesterday, and I realized that a lot of people have not really paid attention to it. So I want to talk about it briefly, right? R&D is a pathway under the university track that is for certain majors, for specific majors in specific universities, right? So when you are reading the application guidelines and you see R&D, don't just cross it over. Check, does it have my major? Does it have the school I want to apply? Is it under R&D? In that school, is my major under R&D? If it is, in my opinion, I feel like R&D is like a 70% sure pathway to gain GKS if you apply correctly. It's not as if you apply anyhow and they just pick you. If you apply correctly, your major is under R&D in a school that's under R&D. That covers your acceptance up to 70%. I'm very, very serious. So you should not just come across R&D and fly over it because it's not the normal general or RGKS. You get, that's if you're applying for masters. I think Undergraduate also has this, but it's called UIC. It's something similar, but it's called UIC. But for masters, it's R&D. Okay, specific majors, specific universities, and they have their own quota. That's the sweet part about it. You get. I'm currently looking at the 2026 guidelines now. Let me show you people something. Under general for university track, the quota for the whole world, for the whole universities, is 160, right? Then under RJKS, it's 480 for the whole universities for the whole world. And this number usually attracts a lot of people. Anybody applying under university track wants to apply under RJKS because the quota is higher, right? Now look at a gem that you guys are skipping. R&D, the quota for R&D is 403, and it's for just 25 universities. Are you seeing the margin? Are you seeing the difference? Why you have to compete for a slot in 480 or 160 under general? You can apply for R&D with a slot of 403 if your major is under it. That's the problem, though. There are not a lot of majors under it, but imagine your major is under R&D and you just skipped it because you are not aware. So please look into R&D. I would have applied to R&D, but unfortunately my major was not under it, and this is me bringing it to your doorstep. After this meeting, check if your major is under R&D. You should seriously consider applying under R&D, except if for some very serious reasons you're unable to apply. That's fine, that's okay. It's not like it's a must, you understand? But if your major is under R&D, you should seriously consider that. Another track, another pathway that I recently just discovered is the global network. I do not know much about it, unfortunately, but I went through the list of schools that are under it and the majors that are under it, and there is no specific restriction around that as well. So you should check if your major is under the global network. It's another track, another pathway under the university track that you can consider applying through. And okay, now I would like to talk about the process, like the step-by-step, how it happens with university track. Just like the previous speaker said, you submit your application to what's it called, KCCA, and you have your interview and stuff. For university track, like I mentioned earlier, you send your application directly to the university, right? After your school have done their announcement, there's usually a time frame, and fortunately for university track applicants, the time frame is usually longer than embassy track. Embassy track is at most 2 weeks, but there are some universities under the university track application that their application is even open for more than a month. You understand? So it gives you more time to put your application together. So after sending your document, under the university track, there are 2 rounds, right? 2 application rounds. The first round is you sending your document to your school. When your document gets to your school, they will conduct what is called document screening, right? They'll check for errors. Did you sign where you're supposed to sign? Did you label your document as it's supposed to? Did you write above 17,000 characters, like in you people's case? All those small details that can get people eliminated. That is where they look out for it during the document screening. And then after that, every school have like a grading point system that they use to grade people's application documents, right? And after doing all their screening and stuff, they select their desired candidates, right? Another thing you should know is that every school has quota for university track. Some of them write their quota on their website. Some include it in their guidelines. You understand? So you have to look for where it is. For my school, it's always written in the guidelines, in their application guidelines. And I've looked into other schools that have also put theirs on their website. So you should look into that as well to help you. Since you're applying to university track, you're applying to just one school, you should look into this kind of stuff to help you select the school where your chances are high. Imagine going for a school that their quota is just 5 without even knowing. You understand? So even if you will apply there, at least you are aware. So you should find that out aware. So every school have the quota that they will nominate to NID. Now, after the document screening, they select their desired candidates and reach out to them for interview. You get? So the document screening and the interview together makes up one round. You understand? So if you have passed document screening, they'll contact you and you will have your interview. The university track interview, like I said from the very beginning of my session, everything we are doing is directly with the university, right? So different universities have how they handle their interviews. Some schools do their interviews via Zoom. Some schools do their interviews via phone call. Some will send you a set of questions via email to answer and send back your answer via email. Some will send you a set of questions to answer by making a video of yourself. You understand? And you can always find this out by reaching out to scholars that have gotten into your school to know how their interview were, so you'll not be caught unawares. You understand? Imagine preparing for Zoom and then they call you. Phone call. It's not as if it's a bad thing, but if you are prepared, you understand, you'll be able to handle your interview better. You get? So either via Zoom, via phone call, via email, you just type your answers and send, or you record a video answering the questions and you send. It's totally up to the university. So whatever your university asks for, you have to give it to them. Okay. Everything about your university track is handled by the university. They have the power to do whatever they want to do. You get? So that is how the interview is handled for the university track. Now, after the interview period, the university will now reach out to people that have passed the interview. If you are selected after document screening, there is no guarantee that you'll be selected after the interview. People are still dropped after the interview. You understand? So after the interview, those that have passed the interview, the universities will reach out to them, right? The university will reach out to them. Congratulations, you have passed the interview, and we are nominating you to NIID, which is the scholarship body. Now, the list of people that have passed the interview will be sent to NIID alongside their documents or whatever it is that they send, you get. And then NIID still screens these people. At this point, you would assume that, oh, you have won the scholarship, but it's not always like that, okay? People are still dropped at this point. So even though you have done everything you can do, I think this is the point where you start to pray, because there's nothing else you can do. It's only God and the people that are looking at your documents that can take it from there, you get. Like if you're preparing for your interview, you can prepare so well for your interview, you can do your best, this and that. But once your document gets to NIID, I think this is same for both university and embassy track. Once your document gets to NIID, there's absolutely nothing you can do from your end. So you just pray. Yeah. And then when NIID goes through the when NIID goes through the document, they will now select their desired candidates. Okay. And then they'll release a list. They release a list of people that they have selected. And for university track, I think, in my opinion, I think the NIID stage for university track is equally very, very competitive, because at that point you are on the same table with the best of the best, because every school have selected from their thousands of applicants, they have selected the student that they feel are the best for them, and they have sent them to NIID. So it's like the battle of the best among the best, you get. So that place is also very, very crucial. And at the same time, that's where your document is still screened. If there's anything that your school missed, NIID will not miss it. If maybe your school somehow miraculously did not notice that you did not sign somewhere, that is where they will catch you. So you still need to put, again, emphasis on preparing your documents the best way possible. Obey every instruction in the guidelines. Just the way Teresa was emphasizing, read the guidelines, read the guidelines, read the guidelines, read the guidelines. That's like the beginning and the end of the Global Career Scholarship. Just to read the guidelines. Okay, it's a lot. I'm currently looking at the guidelines and it's like 71 pages. But I promise you, if you read it like 3 times, you get very familiar with it. You get, and when you want to read it again, it won't be that lengthy, it won't be that difficult. And yeah, I don't know what else is there to say about the university track. Let me see if I can pick how many people picked up. Yeah, there are quotas for different countries, right? There are quotas for different countries. There are quotas for university track, there are quotas for embassy track. Okay, but I think that's a general thing that everybody will talk about at the end, because we are not currently taking questions. I just happen to see it. So yeah, that will bring me to the end of my presentation.
Oh,
Thank you.
Kamsahamnida. Thank you so much. That's a brilliant presentation by Miss Rose. From what she said,
Thank you.
she said that some of the applicants, they can do well to avail themselves with the opportunity of the R&D segment of the application. So if the major that under the R&D segment applies to you, then it's better you take advantage because it's less competitive. Also, she said, and I quote, that if you know how to play your cards well, like the university track is a done deal. I also agree to this fact, and I'm going to share the reason before the end of today's program. The next agenda for this webinar is going to be the tips. So what are the tips to become a successful GKS candidate? As they used to say, that follow those who know road. So we have the privilege to have 3 successful GKS applicants from Nigeria, and including myself, it will make 4 from last year Global Korea Scholarship opportunity. So we are going to start in the same order we started the program. We are going to call on Mr. Goswill to share some of the tips that help him to secure the GKS scholarship. You have like 3 minutes. Mr. Goswill, are you on?
Yes, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, so quickly for me, though some points were mentioned by my fellow scholars, but for me, I would say one of the things I feel I felt that helped me like during my application was because I studied geography and planning from the University of Jos in Plateau State, and uh, towards the end of my program, because we usually need to specialize towards the end of the program. So, but then I focused particularly on the aspect of meteorology. Meteorology is like the study of weather. And so I got to do my IT, my internship at the uh, Yakubu Gowon Airport in Plateau State, there in Jos. And like I did it under the Department of Meteorology, so the more like the department that takes readings for flight operations. Yeah, so before each flight comes, before each flight leaves the airport, they're in charge of taking readings. So I started planning, though I never knew how to apply like for GKS, but then I knew it to be important. So while I was still in school, I tried to build my portfolio in a way that's the future it will be helpful. So I did my 6 months internship then at the airport. And so during my application for the GKS scholarship, I decided to get an extra recommendation letter from the office there where I did my IT. Now this recommendation letter, you don't add it to the necessary like under the required documents. It's just like an extra document. So you put it under the extra document. So for me, I got a recommendation letter from the office, which was stamped and sealed and all that. So it was more official than just like trying to uh, getting a letter from. So once you try to take that particular kind of step, I feel you need to make sure that it looks credible, not like something you just write on your own. So because I applied, I'm currently here in Kyongpook National University for my MSc in atmospheric sciences. So I knew that, okay, once I get this letter from this place at the airport from Nigeria, it will be helpful since I'm coming for atmospheric sciences. And I knew that once this letter gets to them, okay, it adds more, it gives me more edge. And particularly when I applied because I applied through the university track, and I ended up being the only Nigerian that's scaled through the university track process, and I think basically I was the only African also through the university track. Yeah, as much as I know that scaled through the university track for Kyongpook National University, and I wouldn't say it's just the recommendation letter I got, the extra recommendation letter, but then I know that it was also important for my application, and also I would I would encourage everyone, just like the other scholars has talked about, your essays, give more attention to writing things that are true. Don't just write things because you feel okay. You want to entice them. Koreans are not like Nigerians that once you start saying sweet things, their head just big and then they feel like, oh, this person. Them they know that okay, even if you say this thing, they would want you to prove it because Koreans are strict. So I feel once you are preparing your essay, an essay is not something that you get to just write within a short time. I usually tell people like this program particularly, it's this orientation, it's not just for those applying this. In fact, I feel it's more for those that are yet to apply because you need a long time to prepare for GKS application. Seriously, you need at least 6 months or minimum of 3 months because you need to plan where, write your essays where. And so while you're writing your essays, for those that love K-pop, K-drama, I will encourage you that you should, even if you talk about that to show that you're interested in their culture, don't talk about it more than once. Because once you start talking about K-drama, K-pop, for me, I don't even watch Korean movies. I don't listen to K-pop. I'm not saying it's bad, but then these are not the things that they really want to see you talk about. And even in my essay, I didn't talk about watching K-drama or listening to K-pop and all that. So, but then I feel concentrate on the important. What they really want to see is your potential, what you have to give to them, and what you in turn give to your country. Because if it's K-pop, there are a lot of persons that love K-pop. So, what is that thing that will differentiate between you and other persons that love K-pop or K-drama? So, I think I wouldn't want to talk too much because I know other scholars who have some other stuff to talk about, and I feel you really need God in this. You need God because
Divine intervention.
it, yeah, you can't just
Divine
do
intervention.
everything. Yes, you need God seriously. You need if you don't love God, I don't know, for some persons that are not religious, you might feel okay. But for those that are religious, I would advise you as you prepare, as you plan, add God. In fact, involve God. Like God should be at the top of it, at the center, because you are
Okay.
competing with a lot of persons. So as you prepare, you also get to pray. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Gosby. That's a good advice. He said we need divine intervention. We need prayer. So actually, work and pray is the hallmark of the whole thing. In my own case, I even had like more than 10 persons to help review my personal statement, including my dad. My dad was a retired civil servant, so he also had something to contribute. So people that you feel they are resourceful, that can help out in any way, whether they are administrative staffs or maybe they are technical persons, so that can add something, that can add value to your document in terms of the study plan and what was it called, the personal statement. It will be helpful. You cannot maybe you cannot underrate, so to say. So we call on Ms. Teresa Shaibu to give insights on the tips to help be a successful GKS applicant.
Oh, thank you once again. Like the previous speaker said, Koreans are not people that are amazed by what you write. They want to see, they want evidence. When I was writing my personal statements, because I studied English and literary studies, and the course I applied for was media and communications. In my personal statements, I put in links to novels, poems, things that I've written, articles that I've written online. I put in links so to prove that, oh yes, this is real. And I'm pretty sure that they looked it up because someone asked me a question regarding what I'd written online. I put in certificates. So whatever it is that you're saying in your personal statement, if you say, oh, you did this, I did this, I did this, you should be able to prove it. They want to see that, oh yes, okay, this is real. This person did this. So my main advice to people is that even if you don't have those now, you still have time to take online short courses, because they may put it as optional on the list, but it is very, very important. And trust me, it goes a long way. I've weighed two people, the same application. One had more certificates, one didn't have certificates. The person who didn't have certificates did not get it, but they were the same thing. So you may be thinking that, oh, I don't have enough time. So there are short courses that you can take online there are short free courses that you can take online to boost your certificates. If you've done community services, because they want to know both your social, they want to know both your academic, they want to know both your work experience, they want to know what are you doing with your life. Show us, let us know what you're doing with your life. So you want to be able to prove that, oh yes, I did this. Even if you are working in, maybe you did something, maybe you volunteered to do something in your community, you can go to someone and say, oh, please give me a letter of recommendation. Like, all these things goes a long way. So I really take that point from what Godswill said. It's very, very important that you prove what you've done. And like he also said, yes, K-pop, K-drama, but just mention it once. In fact, if possible, don't even mention it at all. If me, when I mentioned, I didn't even mention it because I don't watch K-drama. Don't even mention it at all. If you can, don't mention it. But if it pertains to what you're going for, like probably media, fame, fine. That's also good. Then the advice I gave previously, please, I beg you, read your personal statements, read your goal of study, read your language plan. Please, I beg you, read it. Read it, because you see the Nigerians that are asking, if you're going for embassy track, I'm just saying, if you're going for embassy track, the Nigerians that are there that are asking questions, that man or that woman, those people are brutal. Please read your personal statement, get involved with it, and make sure you read the guidelines. Very, very important. Make sure you read the guidelines. Thank you so much.
Oh, that was great input from Ms. Teresa. Thank you so much. To emphasize again, she said you still have the opportunity to take short courses from Microsoft, from Google, and various organizations that offer courses online. So this will help boost your certificates. And she also mentioned that the issue of K-pop, K-drama. So these are not the potentials that the Koreans need from you. Actually, in the recent, I also don't watch K-pop, I don't watch K-drama, and I didn't put anything like that in my application. So because they were even asking me, because I had my master's degree at the National Open University. So the Korean asked me that, what do you mean by Open University? So please be thorough. Make sure that every single line in your application, you can explain and justify or defend it, because they can just come from where you don't even understand. But if the document, the write-up originates from you, and you know everything that you have put in there, then you'll be able to defend any angle they come from. Then you only need confidence to be able to withstand them. So we have had inputs with respect to the tips to be a successful GKS applicant. For the embassy route, I think it's just six or seven candidates. In our own set, they shortlisted 14 candidates for the interview through the embassy track. And we knew that they only needed 6. So you can see that it's very, very competitive, highly competitive. So you just need to put your best and pray. So we are going to move to the next segment, which is what most of our audience, especially the applicants, they have been waiting for. Huh? Oh, sorry. The third speaker, please. Miss Rose, I'm very sorry. I beg your pardon. So please give your tips.
Apology not accepted. In addition to what my fellow scholars said, which is very, 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 very valid. I just don't want to repeat what they said, but it's very, very valid, right? What I would like to say, and unfortunately, I applied through university track, so everything I will be saying will be from the university track point of view. Do your research on your university, yeah? Everybody has transcripts, everybody has graduation certificates, and at this point in time, almost everybody also has extra certificates. But it's not everybody that researched their university. And that can give you an edge, you understand? That can give you, and imagine you are like, how do I put it? Imagine you are running an organization, yeah? And then you put out a notice, you're trying to employ people. A lot of people, very impressive people, apply for this position, and then just one person remembers that particular day of the interview is the anniversary of your company. Who do you think will be hired? It's just a scenario, because at the end of the day, we are all human beings. Even though there are rules and regulations guiding this kind of stuff, we are still human beings. So if you do your research properly on your school, and I feel like this will like be more helpful to university track people, because you're applying to one school, you can put all your energy in one place. But if you're applying to the embassy track and you can do that for your 3 schools, that's amazing. You understand? You might be able to find something that only you among all the applicants to your university will mention, and that alone will like give you an upper hand above other applicants. So just do your research. If you are applying for a science-based major, arts-based major, whatever your major is, go to your university's website, go to your department's website also, especially if your department will be involved in your selection. During my time, I was interviewed by my department. Some schools, your document do not even get to your department until you have arrived. But some schools, it gets to your department. So either ways, go to your university's website, look up your department's website, scout it, look for something. There is always something there. You understand? And because not everybody puts in this particular effort, it might just be very few of you that will find something very useful and will just turn your whole application around. You understand? So that's one tip I want to mention for the university track applicants. And then in general, again, just like my previous speaker said, write what is true and submit evidence. Me, I like to call it evidence because I'm a Nigerian. You know, evidence day, no evidence, you will explain tire. If you get evidence, put them. You understand? If you have evidence, submit it. And try to be as truthful as possible, because at the end of the day, it's only what you actually did that you have evidence for. You get. So submit what you have, submit evidence. And like Teresa also rightly said, you have time. If you don't have something yet, you don't have evidence yet, you can actually work towards it. You get. If you are not applying this year and you are here, good for you. If you're already applying this year, work with what you have. But if you have time, try to build your profile. All these things are, you know, I said something. Nobody is born with certificate, right? Nobody's born with certificates. We work towards it. So if you know you'll be applying for something, now that you are aware, you start to work towards it. Look for short courses to take, look for places to volunteer, look for experiences to get, because at the end of the day, it's not just courses and volunteering, because most times volunteering revolve around community development. It may not be directly related to your major. If you can get experiences directly related to your major as well, that would be equally amazing. I applied for horticulture. I did crop production in the university. I barely went to the farm during my undergraduate because I don't know of other Nigerian universities, but my school wasn't all that. You understand? I had to volunteer in a farm when I wanted to apply for GKS. I applied for GKS twice. In 2024, I didn't get in. I applied in 2025. Before I applied in 2025, I took myself to a farm and I told them that I want to work for you people. They said they are not going to pay me. I said I'm not here for the money. You understand? So if you have time, look for things in your major that will stand out and try to work towards it. It will not look for you and come. You are the one that will look for it. It depends on how serious and how badly you want the opportunity. You put in the effort more than what regular people would do. And at the end of the day, that's what will cause your application to stand out. You understand? So, yeah, that's all I have to say. I think I'll end there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hope you have accepted my apology.
I'll think about it.
Thank you. Okay. Just to reiterate what she said, you have to be intentional about the GKS application. In my own case, I applied in 2024. And I think that time, I cannot even say maybe I applied actually, in the sense that I only submitted simple photocopies. So I was thinking they will not take it serious. So I didn't legalize anything because I got the notice very close. So I think I was not serious that time. So that gave me the opportunity to prepare for a whole year. And between that 2024 to 2025, before I submitted my application, I've gathered maybe around maybe 6 or 7 certificates. So the point here is that you have to be intentional. Try to prepare. Because they say when preparation meets possibilities, it turns to reality. So also, she has giving a lot of tips and hints for you to be successful through the university track. He said you should go to their website, try to scan, read through, look at even something as simple as what you might think that, okay, this thing is a simple information, just put it. So while you still maximize the word limits. Also, all of them, they have emphasized that write what is true about yourself. Don't forge anything into the personal statements, and also attach evidences, even as simple as photographic evidence, to testify to what you claim that you have achieved. So we are going to move to the next agenda, which is the question and answer segment. This is what some of our listeners, they have been waiting for, and we try as much as possible to do justice to all your concerns and all your questions. We also give privilege to those who are alive with us here, so that if they want to ask questions, they can signify, and we appeal to them to be as brief as possible, so that we can take as much questions as possible. But besides that, we have torrents of questions via the social media platforms, and we are going to attend to those questions as well. So if you have questions, maybe there are gray areas, you feel that is relevant, you can signify so that the admin allow you to speak and ask your question. We have Mr. Emmanuel Oderinde. So you have the floor.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for this webinar. It's actually been insightful, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. So my question goes to us. So I've been in contact with a professor at the university I want to apply to. So that series of exchange and calls via video call. But of recent, he sent a message to me that the department said he would not need to write a recommendation letter for my application. The recommendation letter from university where I graduated would hold more weight. So in that situation now, because I watched some videos online that said getting a recommendation letter from a professor you want to work with can also help your application. So in that situation, would you advise me to start looking for another professor, or I should still continue with this professor? Because he even sent me like tips on what to do with the application, when to be out, and all those things. Do you advise me to continue this professor that can write me a
But,
recommendation letter,
but
or I should start spelling another that can write me one?
your question is understood. Ms. Rose, please attend to this question.
Hi, Emmanuel. When I applied through the university track, I also wanted to apply with a letter from a professor, so I reached out to professors. You understand? Even though it's not a requirement, I personally think it has effect on your application. So, regardless of the fact that you have kind of built a relationship with this professor, if he till the end doesn't want to give you the letter, I will advise that you look for another professor. Now, but before you do that, try to explain to him, because from his point of view, he feels like the best for you is your recommendation letter from your professor, which is true, because that's the main recommendation letter that you actually need. You have to make him understand that you are aware of that fact. You just want his own as well. Given the relationship that you guys have built, you should find a way to convince him to do that. And let me give you a tip. It mustn't necessarily be the letter. Okay. I applied with my professor's email, although with his permission. He told me to print out his email where he said, yes, I'm going to work with you and all that. He didn't actually give me a letter, and that was what I added. You understand? So you can also bring that to him as an option. You should let him know that you understand that his letter is not the main deal, but you still want it regardless. Find a way to convince him. And if he still doesn't want to give you till the end, as a matter of fact, as you are trying to convince him, try to start looking for other professors and build relationships with them as well. Because before I said I got this email from my professor, I had another professor on the side who I was talking with, but the reason why I moved from him is because he also would not give me a letter. If it's something you want and you are convinced that you are convinced yourself that you want to apply with it, at the end of the day, you are not really after the relationship right now. We are after the later. You understand?
Ms. Rose,
So
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Because we have to try and manage the time so that we can take much questions. You have Barakat Tajuddin. So after this, I'll be reading from the ones that we have. So Barakat Tajuddin, you can speak.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. Actually, my question is also based on the recommendation letter, because I've my plan was to apply to embassy track before, but while I look at my profile, I think the university track would be a better fit for me. So the first thing I did was I reached out to a professor at Chungnam National University, but I did not get a reply. I tried another school as well. I did not get it. Though I tried a week ago, so I'm not sure whether I am sending the mail the wrong way. So I don't know if there's a tip on how to structure the mail, and that's my question actually. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Mr. Gosfield, we don't know if you had this experience that you can share with the questioner.
Okay, thank you for the privilege. So concerning the recommendation letter, just like Rose mentioned, if you feel you want to, you might need it, you should try to go for it. But at the end of the day, it's not really compulsory. So don't panic if you can't get a recommendation letter from a professor over here in Korea. It's not really mandatory. I will use myself as an example. So while I was applying to Kyungpook, I reached out to a few I think about 5 professors here in the Department of Atmospheric Sciences. I didn't get a response from all of them, but I got from about I think two persons or 3 persons. The first one said he's sorry that currently he doesn't have grants, that he's not taking anybody to his lab at the moment, which I understood clearly, even though I was coming for GKS. But then what he was trying to tell me is that okay, even if I I want to come and be under him, that he might not be able to take me in. So that is one response. And secondly, the other person was like, uh, that particular woman, she understands better, as she has better idea about GKS. Because one thing you should understand is many of these professors over here in Korea, they don't even know what GKS is. So that is why when you send mail to them, when some of them get to read your mail, they don't understand what you're saying, because it's more like the same way while you're in Nigeria, there are some things happening in Nigeria that you don't have idea of. So the scholarship is not that popular to an extent that everybody in Korea is aware of it. So, but then that professor, she was like that I don't need a recommendation letter from any professor from the department for me to get selected. That the selection will be done by a committee, and I really don't need any recommendation. But what I should do, I should just prepare my documents and make sure I do my best and submit my documents. Though during my interview, I was asked if I tried to reach out to any professor in the department, because why they were asking me was not because they wanted to know if it would give me more edge or not. The reason for them asking me was they wanted to know if I made plans to know to get a professor I will be under, like in the aspect of like a supervisor, not because when they know that okay, this person have considered to take my supervisor, then if it puts more edge. Even if I know that in some instances where there are a lot of persons doing that, they assume that okay, they feel like yeah, this person is much more serious than others if you take that step. So concerning you trying to reach out to professor, one way I based on my research for you to reach out to professors, once while you try to introduce yourself and all that, talk about yourself, make it brief actually, don't make it too long. So you talk about yourself and make sure to add like your transcripts and like your certificates, because you need to give them proof, just like every other person has said before. You need a proof, like you need to tell them that okay, all these things I'm saying, oh, this is the proof. Not like you just send a mail, because anybody can send a mail and say okay, please, I want you to maybe speak for me, because some persons do that and some professors agree okay to give them to boost their opportunity. So but then you need an evidence, add like your transcripts or your certificates, and you shouldn't talk too much, because it's not by what you say. They just
okay, Mr. Goswell,
yeah.
sorry,
Right.
in the interest of time, you have to be very quick as much as possible so that you can maximize the benefits of this webinar. Like I said, we are going to be reading from the comment box. So some of the questions we have. So Miss Teresa, please be prepared. You are going to have 2-in-1 questions. Is the program only applied to first class and second class students? And what of those that their parents are dead? So how will they go about the certificates of
Okay, for me, my father is dead, my mom is alive. So
thank God.
I what do you mean by thank God? I used I authenticated my father's death certificate at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and at Korean Embassy. So I combined it with my mother's international passports and my birth certificate. Those are the three things I submitted: my father's death certificate, my mom's international passport, and my birth certificate to prove family relationship. So if your father is dead, death certificate, you need that. You need to authenticate that. If your father is alive or your mother is alive, okay, then they can provide maybe like they have international passports, they can use that, your birth certificate. Or if they don't have international passports, then they can use NIN. NIN is accepted. They can use NIN, yes. As far as ethnic group, not a statement of origin. As far as ethnic group is not there, they just want to see, okay, the names correlate with, okay, what's on your birth certificate. And the names that are on your birth certificate should be the names that your father's name on your birth certificate should be the same thing on their NIN, not Mr. Wonkolo and Mr. Wonkolo Jr. Like everything needs to align because they want to see that everything correlates. If not, you're going to have to get more documents to explain that. Then the first question, it mustn't be first class or second class upper. No, if your CGPA, because there's a table that they give, if your CGPA aligns with what they give, you can apply. Even if you're a third class student and you can get a letter from your school that says, oh, I'm among the top students in my class, you can apply for GKS. So it's not first class, second class, third class. No, if first class, yes, second class says, if you can get a letter from your school that says, oh, I'm among the top students, top 5%, top 2% in my class, then you can apply.
Oh, thank you. We are going to call on Mr. Olabi Solomon to please proceed with your question. Okay, I think Mr. Olabi is not ready for us. We are admitting Miss Safurat Animasham. So please go ahead with your question or contribution.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, good afternoon. Can I hear you?
Thank you so much for the wonderful session.
Oh,
okay,
it's
please.
really not like a question. Hello, everyone. I'm a 2023 scholar. I just want to put like some few tips in, which is that scholars themselves don't want to research about this scholarship. And Rose has already highlighted, by now, all universities, their requirement, everything is already out in studying Korea. They have already simplified this to the extent that there's an Excel sheet of all courses that are available in those schools. And you can look at the link. They even put the link directly to the labs that are available. So you should carefully look at it and choose. Like use your hand to do yourself. Like you don't really need somebody to hold your hand and like for you to choose lab or anything like that. Also, secondly, and people have already highlighted, like especially for sciences, I'm a science student, so I know the stress that people pass through when they're eventually in Korea. So you should look at the guidelines yourself, look at the school, go to studyinkorea.com. And when it comes to R&D, the RGKS or anything, you can be in R&D. Before, RGKS was the highest quota. Now R&D is the highest quota. For people that are under R&D, they know the stress that they are passing through. So anything that you want to do, any selection of your choice, make sure that you yourself are aware of the choice you are
you.
selecting.
Thank
Like,
you.
look at the school very well. Don't say, oh, because I saw this person on Instagram is in this school, this
Thank
person
you
was that
so
one is in this school.
much.
All the information is already available.
Thank
Like,
you.
that's my 2 cents.
Thank you so much, Scholar Safarat. It's one of our best here. Really appreciate your contributions and meaningful submissions. So I think that's taking care of some of the questions we had. So we give a privilege to some of the attendees. Mr. Olabi, can
Yes,
you
sir.
please be very brief
Yes.
because we have less than
Okay, sir.
10
Okay,
minutes,
sir.
I think. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So my question is based on the birth certificates. What if I don't have the birth certificates with me? Can I submit an affidavit issued by the Federal High Court?
So, Ms. Rose, are you there? Please,
Yes,
can you attend to the question?
affidavit from the Federal High Court in place
Yes.
of birth certificate.
Yes, sir.
I don't think an affidavit will work. There is another document apart from the birth certificate. I've forgotten what it's called, but it's also issued by the National Population Commission.
It's
I
not
think
declaration of age.
no. Declaration of age is issued by a high court.
No, NPC does declaration of age now.
As well. Whatever it is,
Okay.
I think if it's
Can
from
I?
NPC,
Okay.
it will work rather than from a high court. You understand? Because NPC is like National Population Commission. Of course, it's the body in charge of birth certificate and stuff. So whatever document you'll be using in place of birth certificate should be issued from them and not from the high court.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for the clarification. So, Mr. Oyebamiji Damilare, please, I'm just choosing people at random. Don't be offended, please. Mr. Oyebamiji, can you please unmute yourself and speak? It seems he's not ready. Mr. Sunday Olajuwon, can you proceed with your question?
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, and thank you for the speaker that have spoken wonderfully. So I have 2 questions, please. The first one is, what is the weight of having a research publication that, so does it really count or it can be waived? Then, I don't know if you can hear me, please.
We are hearing you.
Okay, that is the first question.
Yeah.
Then the second question, regarding the university track, where do you start your application from? Is it from the university portal? Because I've tried to navigate university portal, and the way university portal are, it's quite complicated and difficult to even get the scholarship link or the application link in the various schools I've researched on.
Okay. Your question is understood. Mr. Goswin, please, you can attend to the question, please.
Okay, so can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, concerning the publications, just like Teresa mentioned earlier, I will advise you go through that document because publication is not necessary for every person. But if you are coming like for a research program, it's indicated there. So once you check that document, you get to see the documents that are necessary for you. But if you have a publication, let's say you are a master's candidate, you are trying to apply for master's or you're applying for a PhD. Now, I'm not really sure if I think for PhD publication is also not like really needed, but I'm not sure. But for research, I'm sure. So, what I would advise you open the guidelines, the application form, and then you check for the recommendation. I mean, required documents area, because for publication, if you have it like as a master's applicant or a PhD, it will give you an edge over other persons who doesn't. But for a research applicant, I think yes, publication is necessary. But if you don't have it for other aspects like masters or undergraduate or PhD, you don't really need a publication. But I think for PhD, publication might also be needed. So, but I'm not sure, except I look at the form now to look to get more clarity. But I know for research, particularly, you need a publication.
Because I applied for PhD, and because I had a publication, so I attached one publication, but it's not mandatory. It's not mandatory, but it will boost your chance. So I think you asked two questions. What was the second question, please?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot the second question. Can you remind me, Mr. Sunday?
Okay, for university track application, where do you start from? Is it from the school side? Because I've checked the school
very,
side.
very important, very important. Yes, Mr. Goswe.
Okay, so for the university track, you don't start. In fact, you don't. The way GKS is, you don't even get to do anything directly on the school website, except maybe your school is instructing you. Like for me, while I was applying, we just prepared our documents and we applied. But then we were also sent a link. It was on the website for us to fill a Google form, and that Google form had everything that we've applied, like our basic information. So the Google form also has that columns for us to just fill. But you don't do any particular application on the school website because you're not like a regular student or applicant to the school. So you're coming through the scholarship. So you don't usually get to do anything pertaining to the school website. But you have to always check the website for updates under the GKS dashboard there, like depending on how the website is arranged. But then you don't get to do anything directly with the school. So once you've applied, every communication has to be with your email. That's why it's always advised to put an email that is working, because once you apply without a working email, then everything you've done is of waste, because there will be no way for them to contact you for interview and all that. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Goswe. We have another question from the comment box. Somebody asked that, is there a need for English proficiency certificates? Ms. Teresa, can you please clarify?
There is no need for English proficiency certificate. It is not compulsory. It is part of the optional document, but it boosts, it adds to the point. Like we've been emphasizing, and even the 2023 scholar had to emphasize, read the guidelines. There's nothing more we can say more than that. If you don't read the guidelines, everything we say here, you're going to forget it. That is just the truth about it. The information you assimilate yourself is going to stick with you. In the guidelines, you will see that there are points for English proficiency. 10 points, 20 points, there are points for that, depending on what you get. Is it 6.0, 5.0? There are points that it will add to you. It's not optional. It's optional. Sorry, it's optional. It's not compulsory, but it will add, it will boost your chances of getting the scholarship.
Thank you, Ms. Teresa. We had some questions from the comment box as well, but due to the shortage of time, we are going to be very stingy. Somebody asked, do we need to authenticate all certificates? I think maybe the person came late. So somebody asks again that, please, for the official transcripts, how and when is it needed for it to be submitted? And I think some of these questions we can ask individuals maybe behind the scene after the program. Most of these things that have been mentioned, if we listen carefully during the course of their presentations. So we call on Mr. Olapade Israel. So maybe you have one or two questions more, because I've been given the authority to extend this meeting with maybe by 5 or 10 minutes, as the case may be. Mr. Olakwade, please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
We are evening, yeah, so you have to in Nigeria. Let's continue, please.
Yeah, I want to ask, I want to go for the robotic program, and I studied computer science for my degree. So I want to ask, is that really possible? And if I'm filling my form, how do I go about that? And the other question I have is, what's the other option? Is there really a need of me as a graduate submitting my O-level results for alongside with my document for me to get selected? because the O-level certificate I have is in NAPTEP. So I heard Mrs. Teresa talking about WAEC and NECO, I guess. So I would like that answer to be given to me.
Okay. Ms. Teresa, can you help clarify? Is that he wants to apply to the graduate program, to the undergraduates, I think.
Wait, so the person that asked the question, is he undergraduate or graduate?
I'm a graduate.
So
Okay.
why are you referring to WAEC?
Okay, I don't know. I'm not the one that mentioned WAEC, but if you are doing your authentication for the first time, I think it was Gospel that mentioned, you're doing authentication for the first time, education will ask you for your WAEC for you to be able, if not, they will not be able to authenticate your BSc certificate and transcript. But when you're applying for the scholarship, you don't need to submit your WAEC. Your WAEC is not needed. You just need your BSc certificate and transcripts. Those are the documents that you need.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I think we have, okay, we have Inamani Emmanuel. I think you are going to be the last questioner for today. You can proceed with your question.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon from Nigeria. I want to ask a question. My question is, what of those that have HND? Are they going to submit both ND results and, ND certificate and HND certificate, or only HND?
Ms. Rose, are you there for us? Even though you went to university, but you still help us out. Ms. Rose. Okay. In the absence
That is
of
my first question. I still have another one.
No, you're entitled to one question. Ms. Rose, please, you can respond.
Yeah, if you're applying with HND results, you have to submit HND and ND, because I believe HND is 2 years. So there have to be some kind of explanation for why a degree that you are claiming is equivalent to bachelor's is just 2 years, when usually a bachelor's is 4 years and above. So you also have to submit your ND result alongside it. Yeah.
Well, thank you for keeping it short. So I think this is where we are going to stop for the question and answer segment. We move straight to the next item on the agenda. We have left the special announcement and quiz, a very short quiz, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and before the closing remarks and votes of thanks. So for the announcements, so immediately after this program, the NSA KNU, we shall be honoring requests from 10 prospective GKS applicants with respect to their personal statements and study plan review. So, but how do you get yourself qualified for this gift? Is that you should follow us, make sure that you follow us on all our social media handles and show the evidence that you are a follower, or by sharing some of our programs across the social media platform. So if you share maybe 3 of our programs across 3 platforms, then you can screenshot, find a means to document your evidence and contact us. So we are going to do that before the application period closes, so that we help you to review your personal statements and study plans. And for the quiz segment, you have 1 question, 1 or 2 questions, as brief as possible. So a quiz is that, when was the Nigerian Students Association, Kimpuk National University, that is NSA KNU South Korea, when was it established? If there is anyone among the participants, especially the prospective applicants, who knows the answer, then that means we have automatically qualified for the gift we have among the 10 persons. Is there anybody there that wants to try? Mr. Christian Monday Israel, do you want to answer the quiz so that you get the reward?
Please, can you repeat the question, sir?
The class.
Sorry. Miss Barakat Tajidin, do you want to
Yes,
try?
Yes.
Okay.
It was founded in 2018.
You tried? Even though you are not explicit, but we can give it to you. So are you a prospective GKS applicant?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So you should see us after the program. Then the
Thank
second
you.
question, which is the final, is that for today's presentations, we had 3 presenters, 3 GKS scholars. So what is it that is in common with all of them, besides the fact that they are Nigerians? Please, you can mute yourself. You can, Mr. Olabi, please. Everyone should please mute yourself, please. So for today's presentations, we had 3 presenters, Mr. Goswell, Ms. Rose, and Ms. Teresa. So besides the fact that they are Nigerians, what is it that is in common with all of them? This is just to test whether we are paying attention to details.
Okay.
Mr. Olabi, please mute yourself.
This is Raymond.
Okay, Raymond.
The common thing among them is that they are all university track applicants.
Oh, you missed it.
Oh.
You missed that. Anyone else?
Emmanuel here.
They are all 2025 GKS scholars.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
They all
Hey,
got
sorry, no. Please don't make it rowdy. Sorry, so don't make it rowdy. Somebody first said that they are all 2025 GKS scholars, and the person is a female. So who is the person, please?
I'm the one.
I got it in the comment
Miss-
section in the,
Miss
in the
Zinat.
chat.
Is it Miss Zinat?
Yes.
Okay. You can reach out to us. You can reach out to us after the program. So if you are potential applicants, please meet yourself. We are drawing to the end of the program, and the final segment is the vote of thanks and closing remarks. This is going to be anchored by our veteran scholar here, in person of Dr. Anis Rabiu. Please kindly mute yourself, Dr. Anis.
Yeah. Good evening from Korea. Good afternoon from Nigeria, and good day from every other part of the world.
Please mute yourself. Please.
Okay, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Firstly, I would like to appreciate the organizer of this event, who is the NSA Kimpuk National University, for doing a wonderful job. And under the President, Engineer Salahuddin, we sincerely appreciate the effort of the executive member who have thought about this event and trying to share insights with prospective applicants from Nigeria. So we appreciate the efforts of the executive of the association. So I would also like to appreciate the committee of the knowledge sharing committee, because without them we wouldn't have a very smooth section today. And I think the chairman of the committee is Engineer Nafi. So thank you very much for the wonderful job, and also thank you for moderating this section very well and very amazing. Thank you very much. So to our speakers, Mr. Fabio, Miss Rose, Miss Teresa, thank you very much for taking us through the application process of the GKS scholarship. And I think also some other scholarship that are not GKS, that people who are also coming to Korea, they also need to follow most of those processes, most especially the notarization processes. It's just a common required process that we all need to do if we are coming to South Korea, irrespective of the scholarship that we are applying for. But most importantly, for the GKS scholarship, it also extend beyond the notarization section. So we have the embassy track, which was thoroughly dealt with, and also we have the university track, which a lot of necessary insights were being shared by the speakers. So we appreciate the 3 speakers who are giving us a huge load of information that if we had to pay for it, I'm sure maybe we had pay about $1,000 or more than that to get those information. But I think this information was being shared to us on the goodwill of the association and the speakers. So I believe these insights will really help us to improve our application process and also give us a hedge ahead of other applicants who are applying from every other part
of the world. So I wish all the applicants successes in all their application processes. And also, I would also like to appreciate everyone, because without you guys, this section wouldn't have been so amazing. So thank you very much for joining today's section. It was really mind-blowing seeing the number. I think we have more than, if not up to 200, because the section was very, very filled up. So we sincerely appreciate all your contributions, all the applicants. And also, if you have one or two questions, one or two clarification, do not hesitate to reach out to the association through their email address, through their Instagram platform page, and some other social network. Try to send messages and try to ask for clarification in terms of any difficulties. So I wish you all the best, and I wish to see many of you guys in Kimpuk National University, Daegu, and some other universities respectively. So thank you very much for having us, and also thank you very much for having me. So my name is Anis Rabi. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.
Oh, Kamsamida, Dr. Anis
Yeah,
Rabiu. Thank you so much. But just like a disclaimer, I'm not the chairman of the committee. Firstly, you said it was organized by the knowledge sharing. It's not knowledge sharing that organized it. It's the admission and recruitment committee, NSAKNU, that hosted the program. And secondly, I'm not the committee chairman. The chairman was unavoidably absent. That's Engineer Adeyinka. So due to unforeseen incident that happened to him, it's not he is not Akpabio. So maybe you mistook me for real. So I was just only
yeah, I
making
forgot to mention that part. Thank you very much. Mr. Goswi, not Akpabio.
Not our Senate president. So just a few disclaimer. And then lastly, in Korea, timing is everything. Even the buses come exactly on time. And if there is one thing GKS loves, is preparation and paying attention to details. So on this note, I want to once again, on behalf of the association, NSCKNU, I thank all the participants, both the KNU members and the non-KNU members, because without you, the program will be very boring. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best.